everybody, how are you? Welcome to the Pure Motivation Podcast Show. I'm your host, Dimitri Giankoulas, and today I'm going to be taking you through the 6 ways that you can be fit over 40. Now, what do I mean by 6 different ways you can be fit over 40? Well, a lot of people that haven't started a fitness program, haven't been involved in exercise, being involved in sports teams. You know, when you're finished high school, college, you graduate, you get married, you start a family, a lot of time goes by, and if you don't actually get involved in being active, it's hard to start. And I've noticed in my experience with my online coaching program and with the fitness studio that I've run here for 17 years, that it's very difficult for people to start a fitness program once they're past their 40s. Like 20 and 30, okay, but once they're past their 40s, there's a lot of mental blocks that kick in and stop people from actually starting a fitness program. Now, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole talking about the mental anxiety, fears, limiting beliefs. I want to talk about 6 actionable things that you can take from this podcast here. You can actually put to play and actually go to work, okay? So let's go to work. So number 1 is you need to establish a foundation. When I talk about foundation, I'm talking about like you're building a home. When you want to become fit, when you want to start a new goal, a new task, you need to make sure that you have a foundation laid out so you're not going to fail. And when you're setting your foundation out, what you want to look for is the what, the when, the why, okay? And also the how. So here's where you break it down. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're like, you know what, Dimitri, perfect. I'm ready to start. I want to continue. Or I've actually been training for the last 6 months. I'm not seeing results. I want to get better. Help me out here. Here's what you're going to do. Number 1, what is it that you want? Clearly define what your goal is. Write it down on a piece of paper. And it can't be like, I want to become healthier. I want to become healthier is just way too vague. I want to be able to swim a 25-meter pool in a certain amount of time. I want to do a 5K run in a certain amount of time. I want to weigh 20 pounds less in 6 months, okay? So make sure you clearly define what it is you want. Then you want to set down a when. When do you want this by? Do you want it in 2 months? Do you want it in a year? Do you want it in 6 months? Now, if your goal is to start a fitness program, you want to tell yourself that I want to start this program within the next 7 days. That way in 7 days, you lock down the time frame you're going to start and you're actually going to begin. But if you're setting a goal of losing 20 pounds, be realistic with yourself and try to look for a 20, 25, maybe 30-week period to do so. Then you want to look at the why. Now, this is super important because a lot of people will start a fitness goal or a fitness challenge, or they will embark on some kind of fitness journey, but they don't have a strong enough why, which is making them go through the hard days, the hard nights, the AM workouts, the 4th set when you're sweating and you're tired and you're like, you know what? I just want to quit. I don't want to do this no more. You need to have a why. So if you want to lose weight, why? I want to become more fit. Why? I want to play with my kids. Why? Because last week when I went out to wherever it was and I played soccer with them, I was winded. I want to lose 25 pounds. Why? Because I don't like the way I look. Why? Keep asking yourself these questions. Because I don't like the way I look when I'm standing naked, looking in the mirror. Or I went to the beach and I was embarrassed to take off my shirt because when I looked down, all I could see is a dad bod and I couldn't see my toes or my private. You have to have a strong why, okay? Then you want to look at the how, okay? So we talked about what, we talked about when, we talked about why, and the how. The how breaks down to how are you going to do this goal? Is it by yourself or are you going to get some help, okay? And many times I've talked about the 3 A's to advancement as a strong alpha male, as a strong alpha female, whatever you want to call it. 1 is acceptance. Can you accept the fact that there's a problem here? Yes, I want to start a fitness program and I'm over 40. Perfect. Next is acknowledgement. Can I do this on my own? Do I have the knowledge? Okay, and that's what we're talking about when it comes to the how. Can I do this on my own? How am I going to do it? Well, am I going to go on Google and just research workouts online? Yes. Okay, go ahead. Am I going to follow a Zoom program? Am I going to hire a coach? Am I going to look for a consultant? Am I going to just go back to my high school days and try to do what I did back then? So you gotta have a how, and you wanna make sure that you break down on paper the method you're gonna use to go through this, okay? So my method, or the how I help men over 40 that wanna lose fat, build muscle, and they wanna balance fitness and food without sacrificing family time or carbohydrates, is breaking it down and teaching them to eat and exercise for their body type. Even members that come to our fitness studio in Vaughan, they come to the studio and they learn how to lose weight, how to pack on muscle, and do it based on their body type. So it's gotta be some kind of a system or a process, okay? That's number one, that's establishing your foundation. Number two, if we're gonna look at the three variables, components of fitness, you got training, nutrition, accountability. Now, I'm not putting them in the order that I feel is most important, but for some reason, a lot of people always say mindset is more important. First, you gotta have the mindset, then you gotta have the nutrition, then you gotta have the training. I kind of differ and I disagree, because in my eyes, the training part is the part that takes the effort, the sacrifice, the courage. You need to be able to work out and have sweat equity in the game. Everybody can diet, everybody can fast, everybody can just order their meals in. Everybody can just cut out sugar and stop going to fast food. But there's gonna be a point of time in your routine where you're gonna notice that you're plateauing. If you just cut back on carbs, well, your body's gonna recognize that, your metabolic rate's gonna slow down, there's nothing to stimulate muscle tissue, you're not building muscle mass, you're not building strength, you're not gonna get results. So number two in the game of how to become fit over 40 is training, okay? We need to know that weights come first, cardio comes second, okay? If we're looking at building a program together, you wanna make sure you're using a program that's gonna have functional exercises, okay? And there's the primary movement patterns that everybody should be doing. Why? Well, you wanna keep your skeleton strong. And as you age, your body's gonna start to atrophy in terms of muscle tissue, tendons, ligaments are gonna break down. And if you're not doing something to put pressure against that, to push and pull and carry heavy objects, you're not gonna get the result you want. So when it comes to weight training, always work on doing functional movements. You need to have some form of a squat exercise, a hip hinge exercise. You need to have some form of a push, a horizontal push, and then a horizontal pull. You also need to have a vertical push and a vertical pull. You need to have some form of anti-rotation movement or some type of rotational movements where you're twisting. The body was naturally made to twist. We also have to have some form of a heavy carry, whether it's gonna be carrying dumbbells, carrying kettlebells, barbells, some form of a heavy carry movement. And then you also have to have some form of a gait, which is gonna be your running, your sprinting, and so forth. So those are the primary movement patterns that is involved in functional training and that every person needs, not just to lose weight and look good over 40. Remember guys, I'm 45. I wanna feel like I'm 25 at 50. So if my skeleton is starting to slowly break down, I'm having kyphosis in the upper shoulders, I'm having lower cross syndrome where my pelvis is rounding, losing my structure and my posture, and you see this with a lot of people that are sitting down all day, you're gonna notice that not only are you not gonna get the result you want, but you're not gonna be able to build the strength you need as time goes on. So when it comes to training, weight training comes first. Don't do a half an hour of cardio and then do your weights because you're gonna burn your battery out. You need that energy for the lifting. Number two, if you're able to train in the morning versus the evening for fat loss, it's gonna be a better game for you. If your goal is muscle building, we need you to train afternoon, or let's say between 5 and 7, because we need to get a bunch of meals in your body. We need to get some strength in you. We need to get fuel in you, because your workout's gonna be different compared to the 45-year-old that's trying to burn 30 pounds of fat. The guy that's trying to put on muscle needs to have fuel stored in his body so he can lift heavy. But if your goal is to burn body fat, you don't really need that. Now, how often should you be training? You should be looking at minimum 4 days per week. Now, I always break it down when it comes to body type, and I say that there's 3 major body types for those of you who have never heard any of my podcasts or heard any of my lectures or any type of the philosophy we have. There's the ectomorphic body type, which is the slender, long torsoed, small joints, long limbs, fast metabolism. This is the body type that struggles to gain weight. That's me. There's the mesomorphic body type, which typically you can look at them as wider shoulders, narrow waist, small joints, more muscular body. They're thicker in frame. They can gain weight and they can lose weight very easily. Okay? Then you have the endomorphic body type, the third body type, where you have wide wrists, wide ankles, wide neck, wide shoulder, wide hips, heavy set build, slow metabolism. The carbohydrate intolerance for this person is very, very low. Hormonally, they don't do well with high carbohydrate diets. And if they're subject to fasting, no carbs, keto, no sugar, no carbs, back to carbs, their body goes through a process where their metabolism is so confused that it just gains weight. So if we're looking at the body types, if you're an endomorphic male, and you know that since you were 10, 15, 20, you struggle to lose body fat, you want to be training minimum 6 days a week, okay? You have the hardest metabolism. Your goal is to try to burn body fat. Typically, endomorphs look to lose between 20 to 50, sometimes 100 pounds of weight. So if you're trying to lose weight after 40 and you're going twice a week, here's a simple exercise I can show you. Go into your calculator and type 3 divided by 7. You're gonna get 42.8%, okay? So even those who train 3 times a week are only getting 42% of exercise. Let's up it a notch. 4 divided by 7, you got 57%. So if you're training 4 days a week, that's only 57% of your body's natural ability to be fit in exercise from 100%. So if you're endomorphic in body type, we need 6 days a week. Okay, let's get that through your head. Now, it doesn't mean 6 days of weight training. It could be a day of weights, a day of cardio, a day of weights, a day off, and then back to your normal routine. It could be a push-pull cardio, day off, push-pull cardio, day off, and repeat. But that's what you want in terms of frequency. For the mesomorphic person, the person that can gain weight and lose weight pretty easy, the person that has noticed that if they work out and they lift weights, right away they can build muscle. And a lot of women are afraid to lift weights because of that bulking effect. Well, just like a man's body, if you're eating high carbohydrates and you're lifting weights, your body is gonna naturally put on muscle, okay? So you need between 4 to 5 days of weight training because of the slower metabolic rate, and you wanna keep the body burning calories. Now, for the ectomorphic build, this is the type that I am, the type that has trouble gaining weight, the type that loses weight quickly. You wanna look at 3 to 4 days maximum. Now, that's weight training. If you wanna do some walking, some light cardio, some yoga, no problem, you can throw that in. But when it comes to actual lifting, we need to make sure we're not overtraining, because a lot of guys that, let's say they have skinny fat torsos, and skinny fat simply means that from the outside you look pretty lean, but when you touch the person's body, it's soft. It's like moosh. They've got no muscle tone. They're actually under muscled, and their percentage of body fat's really high, so hence the name skinny fat. So for those individuals, you cannot overtrain. You can't be doing chest, back, legs, take a day off, chest, back, legs, because your muscles need time to heal and to grow. So number 2, when we talk about how to become fit over 40, we're talking about training. Resistance training is key. Resistance training is the base of your home, is the walls of your home, is the foundation of your home. The door, the windows, the chimney, that could be cardiovascular training, yoga, spinning, whatever you want to have as the secondary forces, but weight training should be number 1, especially for women. If you have 1 day a week to train, it should be weight training. Now, number 3, we're talking about what do you need to be fit over 40? We need to have a solid nutrition program in place. Now, when it comes to nutrition, there's a few different things you need to understand. You need to understand your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. A lot of people that start a fitness program, and what drives me nuts is they automatically cut out carbs. I don't mind if you're gonna cut out sugar, as in the sugar in your coffee, the chocolate bar you have at work, the sweets you have at nighttime, the pastries. I don't mind if you cut that out. But when you start removing carbs from your diet, fruits, and you start cutting out starches, your grains, your rice, potatoes, quinoa, pita, and you start just eating protein and vegetables, you're following like a diet that's not gonna work for too long. And what's gonna end up happening is you will start to feel sluggish, you won't have the energy. Some people, your skin gets really frail, their nails start breaking, they start losing hair because hormonally your body's in imbalance. So number one for nutrition is find out your basal metabolic rate. I can put a link at the bottom of these show notes that has a formula. You can go online, it's a free link, you click on it, and it'll give you a basal metabolic rate. Now, based on that number is gonna tell you how many calories your body's burning per day at rest. Now, the higher the BMR naturally in a human, the easier it is for them to consume a lot of calories and actually get away with them. So for example, my metabolism is around 2,100 calories. So if I were to wake up every day and do nothing all day, I'm burning 2,100 calories at rest. Now, when you add into consideration the exercise that I'm doing and the workouts I'm doing, it's gonna increase it even more. So someone that is not exercising, that's 40, 45, 50, is gonna have a lower BMR. The ways you can increase your BMR is resistance training, weight training. You can eat more protein every 2 to 3 hours. You can do cardiovascular exercises. You can work on having regular meal times instead of skipping 4 hours here and 6 hours there. And you can also work on keeping yourself active on a daily basis. Once you find your BMR, you want to find your TDEE. That's your total daily energy expenditure. So this is another number that you can find very easily. There's so many formulas out there. The app that I use with my clients actually is combined, and it'll give them how much they weigh, how much their metabolism is, how many calories they should be eating per day. Now, when you find that number, let's say my total caloric energy expenditure is 2,500. And I'm a weight loss client. Let's say I'm 45 years old. I'm not, 10% body fat. I'm 35. So if it's 2,500 calories per day and I remove 500 per day and I eat 2,000 calories per day, if you do the math, 500 times 7 days is 3,500 calories. So that should help you burn 1 pound of fat per week naturally, the healthy way. If you're looking to lose 50 pounds and you come and say, hey, I want to do it in 2 months, I'm going to tell you you're crazy, because you're probably going to gain half of it back or you're going to get sick in the process. 1 pound of fat loss per week is a healthy way to do so, okay? Now, you also, when it comes to nutrition, want to know your macros. A lot of people throw out this term very evenly, and it bugs me when so many people are uneducated in understanding what a protein, carb, and a fat is, okay? They're macronutrients. They're the building blocks of all foods, okay? Micronutrients are what you're gonna get from minerals and vitamins from the foods, but we're talking about macronutrients, there's only 3, protein, carbs, and fat. If you don't understand these and what they do, you won't understand how to build your food together. You can't put the Lego blocks together. And every meal needs a protein, carb, and a fat. So when you're looking at people being malnourished, it's because they only eat vegetables and protein. Or they're removing their protein and they're having fruits and vegetables and some fat. So if you don't have all 3 macronutrients at every meal, you will be malnourished, you will be deficient in specific macronutrients. And for example, let's say your diet is consisting of high vegetables, high fruits, and healthy fats, but you're not having protein as a macronutrient. Well, you're gonna notice that you're gonna plateau with your strength, your lean muscle mass will not increase, it may decrease in essence, your basal metabolic rate will drop. So that's gonna happen because your protein level is low. You have to understand that protein is strictly required to build connective tissues, boost your immune system, give you more strength when you're training, and keep your metabolic rate high. Protein has got nothing to do with fat loss. Protein helps keep you full. You have that satiety feeling. If you eat a chicken breast versus a slice of bread, the chicken breast will keep you fuller longer, okay? Carbohydrates, 3 types of carbs. Just remember this very simple process. 3 types of carbs. You got your refined sugar, the garbage, M&Ms, candies, pastries, Gatorades, all the stuff that's made or packaged, okay, which you do not want to have. Then you have the fibrous fibrous carbohydrates, which are your fruits and vegetables, the two best types that you should be having. And if you're looking at what are the best fruits to have, if you can have fruit with skin on it, peaches, apple, pear, grapes, apricots, it's got more fiber, those are gonna do very well. So vegetables and fruits. Then you have your starchy carbs, which is your third type. And that's gonna be the slow digesting carbs that produce longer energy. Your pastas, your rice, your grains, your oatmeal, your pita bread. Those are the slow types of carbs. So if you don't know the three types of carbohydrates, when you're looking at making meals, all you think about is bread, pasta, cereal, fruit, versus understanding that vegetables are a massive part of carbohydrates. Lastly, you have your fat. Your fat is your energy source, especially for those who are endomorphic and mesomorphic in body type, who are looking to change their diet and looking to have energy throughout the day. A lot of people will have a scrambled egg omelet for breakfast. They'll have a chicken salad at lunch. They won't put carbs in it. They won't add avocado. They won't add olives. They won't add seeds. They won't add nuts. They won't add cheese to it. And what's end up happening is they don't have energy to bump them through every meal to get into the next 3 to 4 hours. Their brain is getting foggy because they're using either these special drink powders that they're having or specific fibrous drinks that are going to keep you full for a longer period of time. You want to make sure that you're fueling your brain with energy and you're giving the body the proper essential fatty acids that it needs throughout the day. So when you're talking about nutrition, we're talking about protein, carbs, and fat. If you don't know what those are, there's hundreds of videos out there. You can Google and watch some of my videos, but you have to understand those macronutrients when it comes down to nutrition, okay? And you also gotta log your food. I don't know how much and how blunt I can be, but when you're looking to lose body fat, you're looking to change your physique, people think that you're gonna follow a diet to get the result you want. Well, what happens after 2 weeks of following a diet? Your body plateaus. Well, you need to start looking at stats, your numbers, if you've lost weight, if your measurements are getting better. But also, you gotta look at what you've eaten. You can go good Monday to Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, binge out, miss breakfast, have a few extra drinks, have some drive-through meals, and because you're not logging it, you can't see that you've consumed 1,900 calories on a Saturday afternoon from, let's say, 2 in the afternoon till midnight. If you're not logging your food, it's gonna be very difficult, okay? Number 4 on my list of 6 things to help people become fit over 40, yes indeed, because I'm 45, is accountability, okay? So now, I went through training, I went through nutrition, I put in accountability as third. Reason being is, in my eyes, if you're working out steady and you're training diligently, when you work out consistently, it's hard to eat shitty. When you're working out consistently and you're waking up at a certain time and doing your cardio, it's hard to go to drive-thrus. When you're working out consistently and you're feeling sore the next day and your body's just, you're in that zone and you haven't missed workouts, it's easier to eat healthy. It's easier to keep accountable now. So in my eyes, the training part is gonna go first, nutrition, and then accountability. When we're talking accountability, we're talking again about who will you be accountable to and how? Are you gonna hire a coach? I strongly suggest to people that are looking to get results and they don't want to be discouraged, look at time collapsing. And this is something one of my mentors had taught me is, if you're right here and you want to get to here, there's a gap. Now that gap is going to either cost you time, money, energy, opportunities, your lifestyle, okay? For example, let's say you got a 45-year-old male, wants to lose weight. His lifestyle is crap. His energy's crap. His body is looking like a pregnant female. He's got no energy to play with his kids. Instead of him hiring a coach and saying, hey, Dimitri, you know what? I've watched you on social media. I followed you on YouTube. You seem like you're a fit guy. You're 45. You got 2 kids. You're running a gym. You've been doing it for 17 years. You look like you know what you're doing. How much is your program? Whatever the fee is, I'm just gonna gamble and I'm gonna try it out. The guy that doesn't do that tries it on his own, is gonna start wasting time researching, going to Google, getting confused, getting overwhelmed. Money, you're gonna buy this little gimmick, you're gonna download this app, you're gonna buy this program, you're gonna try to buy this special type of protein that's clean. You're gonna start putting into energy, into exercise that don't work for you. You're gonna start depressing yourself and getting discouraged because you're not seeing the progress and you have no accountability. You got no plan. So when you're looking at getting a result and you're hiring a coach and you have someone to keep accountable to, you time collapse that 6 months or that year that it would have taken you to lose the weight into 3 months, into 12 weeks, into 30 days. Now that's gonna buy back your time. That's gonna buy back your freedom. That's gonna buy back opportunity. Because if you're learning things every week, if you try to cut corners and you speak to your coach on the weekend and the coach goes, listen, you've been cutting out your AM cardio, you're doing it after your workout, you're too tired for the session, it's breaking you down. Instead of doing 30 minutes in the morning, just do 5 minutes of skipping. Instead of having a cup of carb for lunchtime, cut it down to 3/4 cup. And then for your dinner, remove your fat intake for that last meal. Just by making those 3 small tweaks in 7 to 10 days, you should see a change. And by not having someone to help keep you accountable, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be scary, it's gonna be lonely. And just like an entrepreneur's life, where it's a roller coaster, it's a stock market, some days are good, some days are bad. You know, some days you have things pop up. When you're trying to lose weight or build muscle on your own after 40, there's a lot of complications, guys. There's metabolism, there's hormone, there's lifestyle, there's motivation. Forget the fact that you have the money, you have the resources, you have the car to drive to the gym, you have the gym at home, you have the trainer. How about mindset? There's so many warped things that happen to us as we get older with limiting beliefs, with trauma from our young childhood that still drags on. And if you don't have a coach or a mentor or a therapist that you're speaking to, your coach could be your wife for all that matters. It could be your kid. It could be your best friend. If you don't have someone to keep you accountable, the best way to do it is to have a professional. You will fall back. And even if you have the gym membership and the gym at home and the equipment at home, if you don't have a coach or someone to keep you accountable, you're gonna fall backwards. And also, you gotta make sure that you have specific times that you're communicating with this person so you feel that you have to have the information ready. If you know that your coach is like, yeah, we'll do a call on Friday. Oh, you know what? Next week, let me know when you're free. You might as well start eating cheesies. You might as well start, drinking pop again because there's no accountability. But if your coach says, listen, every Sunday at 10 a.m., I'm gonna connect with you and I want you to have your weights, your body fat percentage calculated. I want to see your numbers, your measurements. I want you to tell me what's going good, what's going bad. Now you have a person working with you like a mini team. Okay, so that was number 4, which was accountability. The last 2 areas of how to become fit over 40 is being able to do a proper assessment. Now, why do we need to have a proper assessment? Can't we just start training every day and working out, cutting back carbs, and then in a few weeks seeing the results? No, because the human body is so miraculous that it adapts to every stimulus you give it. You give it a drug, there's a side effect. You give it a type of stimulus. If I give you coffee, you get hyper. If I give you depressant, you become low. If I give you weight training and I make you lift heavy weights and I fuel you properly, you build and pack on muscle. If I give you metabolic conditioning and we minimize the amount of carbs you're having and fuel, you burn body fat. So if you're not using an assessment process to gauge where you are, now this may sound crazy to you, but I like telling people to weigh themselves every 3 days. If you got a goal to lose 30, 40 pounds and you're weighing yourself once a week, well, what happens if you have 3 shitty days? And then on Sunday you got a wedding and there's no way you're gonna sit there and body comp and measure. So you know what, forget Sunday. Then you come back from the wedding and you overate because there was peer pressure and you weren't strong with your mindset and you never had your coach to text when you're really stuck to say, hey man, what do I do? I'm in a bad position. And the coach goes, man up, woman up, you got this. Don't screw up your program. Well, then that Sunday assessment, turns into next Sunday, which is 14 days, and now your results went to shit because you probably gained a few pounds, your percentage of body fat went up, you didn't measure your waistline to see if it went down by 1/4 of an inch, even a centimeter. And now you don't look forward to that assessment. You're not excited to weigh yourself. You're not excited to see what your stats are, so you may skip it. And now 3 weeks has gone by and you haven't had that assessment. Forget it. You're not going to be as motivated. You're not going to be as focused. However, when you bring your car to the mechanic, you get it checked out every month, every quarter, they check it out. When you bring your teeth to the dentist, they check them out every 6 months. There's an assessment date. When you look at your finances in a business, every 30 days, your profit and loss statement, right? When you're trying to help your kids with their homework, you look at their tests. They get tested every 2 to 3 weeks. So with your body, it's no different. And you will continue to fail. I don't want to say miserably, but you will continue to fail and not scale your progress if you don't have a proper time to assess your body and see where you are. Now, talking about assessments, what are the best assessments to do? 1, you check your weight. Number 2, body fat percentage. Super important because body fat percentage is more important than your weight. If your percentage of body fat's dropping and your weight is increasing, that means you're dropping fat and building muscle. If your body fat percentage is staying the same or increasing and your weight is dropping, that means you're burning muscle tissue and your lean mass is lowering. So find ways to get a body fat percentage test done. A lot of scales have them. The Withing scale is a really good scale you can get that marks them through. We use an in-body scan at the gym. It's $7,000. You don't gotta go buy an expensive one, but if you do belong to a club, make sure you check that out. Body fat percentage is important. Number 3, girth measurements. Measure your bloody body. Measure the one spot that matters, your waist. If you wanna get bigger arms, measure your bloody arms. Every Sunday, just like you go to church, should be your day you wake up, you weigh yourself, you measure yourself, you take your pictures as well. Pictures was number 4 on that list in terms of different forms of assessment. You will see big changes in your body when you do a front, side, and back shot wearing the same outfit, same clothing, in the same spot over a 2-3 month period. You may not see it wearing clothes, but you will start looking at pictures and say, oh my God, I can start seeing a little bit of my waistline there. Look at my shoulders, they're a little bit rounded. Oh my God, look at my chin, I'm losing fat under my chin. And if you have these measures of assessment, you will continue to be motivated, okay? Motivation is great, it gets you started. This podcast is called the Pure Motivation Podcast. However, discipline will keep you going and routines will give you success. Strength goals, number 5. Do a number of push-ups in the morning on a Sunday. Do as many as you can right now. Log it. Today I did 10. Do it next Sunday, 11. 4 Sundays from now, you may be at 15. A year from now, you may be at 30. So doing a strength test, whether it's a pull-up strength test, a plank, a 5K run, a 2K run, a wall sit, a plank, whatever it means, even your lifts, your heaviest deadlift, your heaviest barbell squat, your chest presses, whatever your movements are, have some form of a strength test to keep yourself evaluated. So if all else fails, and you're having a shitty month, and your weight's not changing, your percentage is staying the same, your pictures look the same, your waist hasn't moved, but your strength is going up in all your lifts, your 5K run has dropped down by 5 minutes, and your plank went from 1 minute to 2 minutes, you still see progress. Because when you're over 40 and you got kids, mortgage, work, stress, your parents may be sick, you got a lot of stuff going on in your lifestyle, fitness unfortunately goes to the end. I don't know why. I'm here to motivate you today and try to get you to know that fitness comes first. Your health is a priority. Not your cars, not your home, not the pool, not the assets, not the holdco, nothing. Your health comes first. And if you don't have these measures to keep you in line, you won't do them. And then I have 2 more to go, is your clothes and your metabolism. If you're a lady watching this, get that skinny black sexy dress that you can't fit into and try it every few weeks. Am I squeezing into it? Am I getting more comfortable? Gentlemen, you got that nice pair of jeans, you have a tight tank top, You want to wear an outfit, a suit, all those expensive suits that don't fit you? Well, try them on every month and see if they're getting more loose. Then you can know if it's working. And then metabolism is super simple. If you notice you're hungry more often and you notice that you just had breakfast and you're starving 3-4 hours later, or usually at 3 o'clock when you're falling asleep, you're dying and you're hungry, that's a good side effect of exercise, okay? And then lastly, I think this is one of the most overseen principle when it comes to being fit over 40 is number 6 is be realistic, guys and gals. Be realistic with your expectations, okay? Be realistic with what you're looking for. Don't go to a coach and say, I want to lose 60 pounds by this summer. It took you 10 years to put 60 pounds on. It took you 2 years of being stuck indoors to COVID to gain that 40 pounds. It's taking you 2 decades to not pick up a free weight or to not go for a jog, and you just go to your kids' practices and you watching TV and you memorizing all the stats for all the people that you watch on TV. It's taking you a long time. Be realistic. I want to lose 1 pound of fat per week. I want to set behavioral goals. I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. I'm going to work out my basement 3 times a week. I'm going to take my vitamins every morning. I'm going to journal and I'm going to log my food. Those are 5 easy behavioral goals that you can do each week that you can accomplish. And if you can accomplish those, you got 5 wins versus saying, I want to lose 3 pounds of body fat each week. That's an outcome goal, and it's not going to work because if you don't meet that outcome goal, what ends up happening is you get frustrated, you get mad, you get angry, you start losing path, you lose that motivation. You know what? Forget the body comp, forget the meal plan. You start derailing yourself because you have no guardrails. So think of an 80-20 rule. Yeah, it'd be nice to lose 40 pounds this summer, and I love to look lean and sexy like a Greek god. But you know what? I'm 47. I'm just starting my fitness program. In the next 2 months, if I can lose 10 to 15 pounds, I'm happy. When you set realistic goals you can achieve, you become a monster inside because you're eating up the negativity that has been ingrained in your body, in your mind for years, okay? Also, be realistic with your goals, okay? Have a coach help you set proper realistic goals. Be realistic with your recovery. You're not going to be able to heal as fast as you used to. I train chest and back on a Monday, or if I do legs on a Monday, I'm sore for 2 or 3 days later. I never used to be like that. The next day I could hit another body part. By Wednesday I can hit chest again. So as you get older, recovery time slows down, your sleep time may decrease, your quality of sleep may decrease, the amount of food you're eating to replenish the muscles in your body and the amino acids, the fact that you may not be doing massage, foam rolling, stretching, all these areas, meditation, yoga, all these things apply into your recovery. You want to also look at workout selection, okay? Be realistic. Are you able to go to a gym and buy a membership and go 5-6 times a week? No. So then why are you driving to a gym and speaking with someone about buying a gym membership? Speak to an online coach. Reach out to me for a complimentary strategy call. It's not going to cost you a dime. We're going to sit down and go over your goals, find out where you are, where you're stuck, what you've tried, and what you want to set as a goal set. And then at the end of that process, myself, a coach, will tell you what finances is needed to the program, and you can choose. But be realistic with your workout selection. Don't tell yourself, I'm going to do cardio in my basement on my treadmill that's holding all my clothes with the clothes hangers on it, and I'm going to lose 25 pounds. It's not going to happen. If you want to lose 5-10 pounds, you can probably accomplish it with a treadmill. If you want to lose 10 plus pounds of fat, especially the visceral tissue, the fat that's sitting in your gut, I'm going to show you which body fat. Ready? Rah! This body fat, this is 5 pounds. If you want to lose the 15, 20, 30 pounds of visceral tissue in your gut, you're going to have to do weight training. Okay, guys? And then number 7, which is a bonus step, okay? When in doubt, go back to step number 1 and redo it all over again. That's it. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed my podcast on how to become fit over 40. This podcast could be for anyone at any age, at any given time. The 6 principles that I've given you here are going to be staples and will never change. I'll repeat them once more to you. Establish your foundation. Make sure you have a proper training program in place. Nutrition is key. Accountability from a coach or someone to follow up with is important. You have to have an assessment process. And number 6, you need to be realistic. For those of you living in the city of Vaughan, if you're interested in coming out and trying our fitness studio, please by all means message us, DM us, let us know. And if you're a male that's over 40, anywhere around the world, that's stuck, that's tired, that's fed up, and that is not happy with the lifestyle, with the progress, with the performance you are living, reach out to me today. I'm 45, I've been training for 28 years. I've been managing personal training departments for 27. I have a lot of experience and I'm happy to help you out. That's it, that's all. Remember, when it comes to health and fitness, attitude is everything. Peace.